What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
Listen, continuous vibration, I'm always in motion, conductor of energy like salt in our oceans, alchemical sorcery, elixirs and potions, polka dot shrooms, got my third eye open, deep in my memories, bending time and space, my brain has archives, I'm digging in the crates, reflect on the past, sometimes I have to numb the pain, the repetition of thoughts will drive a man deranged, we're born into shin, born with the lack of knowledge, to my family and elders I'm always paying homage, the capital's direct current on this motherboard of wattage, the current is currency when dealing with dollars, time is money and money is time, the sun, the moon, the stars, electric and divine, cymatic magnetron, frequencies align, it's written in the heavens, can your eyes see the signs?
Riding out in this bitch, all you haters ain't shit. Dealing with fast lyrics, slow lyrics, these bullets don't miss. But y'all worry about vibes, I worry about rhymes. So I gotta go round and tone it down. I think I'm losing my mind. Talking about the gold ham, say motherfucker 1,000 times. When I saw me with 1,000 eyes, been prophesized that I'm organizing a revolution, never ride for life. 5 eyes, done homicide. Every time I made a picture, gonna motherfucker die to die. Y'all think I'm out of mind, but I'm the god of storms. I do this shit all the time. God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, all praise to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the God of storm, turn to devastate. Tell to go fast to pump the brakes. Going at a pace you would never trace. Here come the impact you would never brace. Better vacate from the place, okay? The bay got my AK, but it's straight today. Revolutionary lyrics that I paved the way. From a rebel stuff through best spray your face. D-Day, replicate. They gotta kill the government, they manipulate. I'm pulling up like hidden blade. Walking up on the fairness, don't get a slip today. Little revolution dance today, but niggas is scared. Grab the gun, I'm getting prepared. All you haters, you better be red. Get prepared to the storm right here. God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, all praise to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, time to be the spark of the frankincense. We giving this bitch with no frankincense. Revolutionary of the day commits. So we going all out before the day we spend. They got Billy Jones as a paper clips. They watching everything on some major shit. They poison water, poison food, chemtrails in the air, they spraying shit. CDC, they making shit. Black Rock Pelletier, they taking shit. Tell us in the people, bitches getting great abyss. I'm the great hurricane, take a step to miss. Time to rise up and raise the fist. Who gonna with me? Let's take a trip. Shooting at the government and make a flip. Bitch, time to fill the world with amazing hits. God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, all praise to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, all praise to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the God of storms. Bow down to the, bow down to the, bow down to the, all praise to the God of storms. Bow down to the to them. Bow down to them. Bow down to the god of storms.
That track's fire. Definitely fire. Damn. I've been watching some Piece of Dom and Hurricane. I've been watching some crazy videos on fucking Instagram. I like Instagram a little bit because they have more yeah, I need to get some beats, man. I gotta find someone that's got homemade beats that just has a ton of beats they just want to give away. I honestly hate using other rappers' beats. I mean, it's cool to freestyle and have fun, like if you're chilling with people that rhyme, you know. I used to drink beers and rhyme with my group of friends. That's about the only time I don't mind using other rappers' beats. That Tell I Vision song was Apathy's beat. I mean, it came out dope, but they're gonna hit me with copyright every time I play it. Whatever, but there's nothing like a fresh beat that no one's used. If I had a lot of money, I would Stu Bangers or Bangas, whatever, sells beats. And so does Prodigy's daughter. But Prodigy's daughter wants fucking, I think, 600 or 700 a beat. I'm in the wrong business. Some people are so good at beats, they could cook one up in fucking seconds. So imagine that. Motherfucker can make, say, 10 beats an hour if they're that good. Even 5 beats an hour. You're making, you know, those beats sell. You can make good money. Who do you think makes more? The person that rhymes, or the beat maker, the producer? To me, if the beat is fire and the person can't rhyme, it definitely stands out. True, the engineer. I forgot about the engineer. That's why I like to make my own stuff. That's why computers are dope, because you could do everything on your own. I mean, granted, yeah, I have to get a beat from someone else, but I'm the engineer. I'm gonna fuck with the sound. Science versus music. Yeah, music, people don't realize it, man, but I pay attention to my mood when I listen to music and how it changes. There's some beats and music that make me want to smack somebody, you know? if I was gonna go to war, there's certain albums I would listen to, just because it puts me in a warlike mind state. Then if you listen to classical music, who wants to slap somebody listening to classical music? Nobody. Um, there's pictures of someone getting amped up over classical music. Yeah, that shit's fire. It just won't happen. I think hip hop is more of a root chakra based. Um, but I'm start listening. There's this guy I was watching. I just found this channel. Dude's listening to classical music behind him, like, but he's recording them, making beats for hip hop. I was like, nice. Right then and there, I knew he understood that classical music is more of a mental elevation. It's more of a thinking music. I'm not saying hip hop can't make you think, but a lot of it makes you think negatively. I watched a video of parasites, and the doctors are cutting someone's intestines open and pulling out worm-like parasites. I mean, these things are like mini snakes. It made me just not. Oh man, that's insane, man. It's insane. Peace, eyes wide shut. Pretty much going to talk about whatever today. I have some new pictures I'll probably show later, or I might save them. Some new architecture. I was watching this video about people that always mention Rothschild, but forgot the name of this family this guy mentioned that rules over Rothschild. Papal? I think it was Papal or Papal or Papal. I think it was Papal. See if I got it saved. What does that say? See, I don't like the way this is set up with StreamYard now. Maybe it's set up like my laptop on my phone, and everything is so little. I don't know why it does that. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know why it does that. Hold on. Demo scene 2. What's a demo scene? What's this? Boop. Nah, go back. Boop. What the fizzle? What's up, Dom? What? Anyway, whatever.
Have you ever heard guys that do that somatic music?
No.
Okay.
Cymatic music.
Yeah, you would
Or
probably.
they
Go ahead.
What, they play music
You
and
have
it shows the cymatics on the sand on
Yeah.
on that metal thing. Yeah,
Yep.
I've seen that.
Okay. So now, knowing that is sound, whether from an instrument or from a voice, you got liquids in your body. Think about people that actually play a flute and they charm a snake.
Yeah, I think about that, what it does to our blood.
There you go.
So,
So now, whether you play rap music, country music, baroque music, hence classical, it actually
well,
affects.
let me add something in real quick that you said that. Take me 1 second. I always think about heavy metal and the mosh pits, Dom, and I think how people are acting in the mosh pits. It must do the same thing to our molecular structure. Anyway, go
Yes.
ahead. My bad.
Yeah. No. No. It does. No. No. You're right on theme. Yes. It's an entrainment. So when they talk about 440 or 432, we have so many different kinds of frequencies going around us, and some of it is so low pitch, like Wi-Fi. It's playing on us, or at least plays us. Like that fiddle or that flute. So when people are in music and they're like into one of those 20 in those studios, they're trying to play different flutes. It'll be like a science playing with different chemicals. You're going to get different results. So if you're playing like a country song with a rap kind of theme to it, you're going to get a different kind of outcome. Well, always a different outcome anyway, but I just find that interesting. It's like how much people enjoy music, but what is it really doing to the body, let alone the liquids or the molecules in it?
I watched a video this morning of, man, this video had to be old, but the guy was heating an egg with sound, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy it was this round ring thing, and I think sound was running through it. I don't know, or frequency, but he put paper, it didn't ignite. As soon as you put steel wool, that thing started going crazy. And it made me think of direct energy, these weapons they have, and you probably can't hear it or see it, but it'll cause destruction.
Well, there's one. People do that. When you hear about kids when they're young, or people in general, they take a magnet and they direct it, and the sun's beaming through it, and then they're doing something with on the other side. So if you can get a strong enough magnet or a big enough magnet, not a magnet, my apologies, a magnifying glass, and you put it in a certain direction, and the sun beams through it, and then it hits something like a rock, it will actually heat the water. So that's what people call, energy, direct energy, laser energy. If you can harness it at that point, that's why you have a magnifying glass. So let's say they put things up in the sky that we can't see. There's a good chance it's actually going through it. That's why we have clouds.
I've showed pictures of how they had lenses on mountains that were lighting ships on fire. So they've been at this a long time.
Mm-hmm. They have. Yeah. Some of these, I'm going to call it just a name, breakaway nations or groups, they're putting a lot of effort. They're not worrying about the everyday grind of going to work or whatever. They're doing other things. And then every so often they give us some of their back products. Here, we'll give you cell phones. We'll give you Wi-Fi. It's like we're always getting the after products. And then, of course, they got to make it coin operated. So there could be technology that's still another 100 years, or maybe whatever number we want to use, thousands of years, that we're not even going to be presented to yet.
I can imagine if they have these underground cities that this guy in the military talked about. Now, I always think of these whistleblowers. These fucking whistleblowers are telling this top secret shit. And what really gets me is, how do they live to see another day? Right? Like, if it's so top secret and they're babbling their mouth about it, I would think they would not play a game and wipe them out.
Would they? Like, what happens when you hear a whistle on a quarter or soccer? There's a penalty or some sort of infraction, right?
Yeah.
So the people that are blowing the whistles are referees. They might actually be planted there to distract you.
That's what I'm thinking.
Hey,
because this guy was in the military. He had some clearance, I forgot. And he was saying these underground cities they have, and they have these mock trains. I heard about this years ago, though, these trains that are underground that go from the east to west coast in 20 minutes, something like that. I wouldn't doubt it.
And you can use
Let me
your
just do you to your panel, Charles, and to Doom. What's going on, guys?
what's going on. We're whittling away some ideals.
Right. And what do you guys think about the attack or taking the is it Venezuela president that we did? Is it 2 days ago? What do you guys think about that?
Are you a believer,
what?
Bougie? Are you a believer?
I believe we're on.
That's what a believer is. They hear all these stories and then they need to preach it to others. Are you a believer?
Believer on which one?
On those attacks? Are you a believer? They've told you a story. Are you a
What
believer?
attack?
No. We take the Venezuela president, right?
Yeah,
We
but
say
that's
this is
again. Are you a believer? Were you there?
Excuse me.
no. I'm not there. I'm not there.
No.
I'm not
Okay,
there.
so therefore you would have to be a believer then, wouldn't you? There's your distraction. Let that stuff go.
Okay. Why do you think they distracting us
Again,
on what do you think?
that's another version of the belief. Now you're going to ask me what I think of it.
Right.
Let me distract myself with my upper hemisphere on a story they told me. There's also a character named Jesus,
Right.
by the way, too. These are stories.
Oh my God, man.
Now, whether
So
or not you were there at that point, you'd be doing something, wouldn't you? There you go.
Just look at the Venezuela's handshake here, and then you'll know what club he's down with.
There
and
you
you'll know.
go. There you go, Charles. And you know,
I mean, we see the flag that they're representing down there. Is the WHO? Is that what's was it on
could
the
be.
back of that?
It could
Right?
be.
Is that WHO? Right?
Sure. Again,
Where, in back of them?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the flag
the
right there.
UN
That's
flag.
WHO.
That's the UN. That's when he was at the United Nations. That's the UN flag. But there's 33. You got your dual 33 in the back there, because each that's 33. What are them things called in them lines there? The in the map.
Sure. You see
I
the leaf
forgot.
there for the Caesar? Now, when they're doing the handshake, we might be
Right.
able to see that, but they're actually giving messages to their members. They're one of ours. So once again, are you a believer?
The one of ours. So what do you mean? Like a Freemason? Is that
Yeah,
what it is?
I'm a
The club.
believer. I believe that's a
Right.
bunch of bullshit.
There you
Right.
go.
Did you guys get the award the other day? Everybody got an award. All the Mason yesterday or 2 days ago, right?
It could be Masons. It could be Rosicrucian.
Right.
It could be
No, I
Skull
was
and
just
Bones.
saying. Did you get your award, Doom, or no?
No, I didn't get mine. I missed out.
No. You didn't- you're not. Oh, okay. How about you, Charles?
What?
The award for the Freemason. It's yesterday, right, or 2 days ago. The award that was given to every single lodge.
There you go.
You're not there. You know what you want to be given? I mean, they're giving away some good a Lacoste goodie bag.
Mhm.
Okay.
But
I
just
thought
in
you
case, Bougie,
I'm
because
a
you came
free
in,
man.
yeah, you
I'm
came
a
in.
free man,
Wow.
not a Freemason.
Well, you're
Not Freemason. Okay. I thought you guys. I thought you, Charles, you were. I thought you said you were last time.
No, I was joking.
No. Okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead, Doom.
what we were talking about.
Kane Yamamoto.
What we were talking about, if you want to put an input, we were talking about music and frequency and how it affects maybe the body and the liquids. Those are things that people can go inwards with. Yeah.
Who's that? That's Yahweh or
What's up, Kane? Salute to
You see
Kane.
the name on the picture?
Nah.
Hurricane be that name for the government.
my bad. That's Hurricane. I knew it was
Yeah,
either
what
you,
I know.
Hurricane, or Yahweh, or a troll. So I had to put the picture up.
Hell yeah. Kane Yamamoto all day.
What was that?
Everybody
I mean,
know
who's Ken Yamamoto, bro? Who's that?
Oh, shoot,
know.
just the name I made up. I just took off the Hurry and left Kane and just put like Yamamoto. I was like, you know what? I like that last name.
Oh, okay, I got
I'ma
you.
throw
I
that
got
in.
you.
Just making up shit.
I just can't get out of my head that dude looks like fucking Saddam, man. Like, dude.
Oh
did
yeah,
this guy
everybody
play
here is
Saddam?
saying that. Like
Saddam
Huh?
Hussein?
everybody's saying that though, man. But like we all know Saddam has
Who else
been
said
dead.
Because I didn't get that from nobody. I was just looking at the picture one day and I said, man, that looks like Saddam. But
Yeah, they
why,
was showing that on
saying that?
Instagram and Facebook. They was doing that on Instagram and
Mhm.
Facebook, and I think it's some guy that be on YouTube that be on like comparing faces. He a conspiracy theorist. He just want to say like every celebrity is a look like a somebody. I'm like, all right, nigga, now you're reaching. Because I watched 3 versions of Saddam Hussein in the 90s. One of them is dead. 2 of them might be clones. One of them might be dead. Oh no. I do not know,
The
but
guy
you know.
said in my comments, no disrespect to him, but he said in
So-
my comment that Saddam was real. They executed him in public. And I mean, yeah, that's part of the show, man. They have to make it look real.
Executed. I thought we arrested him, right? The U.S. did arrested him, and then he was dead. He was hiding under the bunker, according to the understanding, right?
Okay, so guys,
Everybody got different stories.
okay,
See,
exactly.
see, it's
So
crazy. It's crazy, y'all.
So you're a believer,
crazy.
then, Hurricane? Are you a believer, Hurricane?
Hell no, man. Like
Okay,
I don't
I'm
trust
a-
anything that the government doing.
Good enough. So
I can't believe nothing.
As people are talking about this character named Saddam, were you there? No. So therefore, you can only be a believer. Did you see the picture? You saw the picture, and then if you preached it, then you're a believer. You're
Right.
preaching stories now. You're a believer. There you go. People will say, I've never seen Jesus, but you would have to be a believer, wouldn't you? So
That's
as
my
you're
point,
parroting
bro.
information, you're a believer. It's funny. It's funny. I'm actually making fun of you guys right now. But at that point, you're a believer. You're making a comparison to another.
Okay,
preacher.
let me ask you, my brother. Are you a believer, dude?
Sure, I am, but I like to play with awareness. But I actually not going to go around preaching about fucking Saddam Hussein or Clinton or whoever character. You're a believer. You're peddling myths.
Okay, so if we are,
Nothing bad
we'll
about
say,
it.
okay, we'll say we're a believer.
You are.
Okay, no, we'll say we are, right?
Mhm.
And we believed it so much, right?
Yep.
But we can attain everything, anything in this reality.
No. I'm talking
All
about.
of the things that you could ever
a
want. All
believer.
the things. It could be a material things, bro.
Okay, hold on.
It could
Time
be
out.
an educational
Bougie,
level.
you're going sideways now. Reality is I can see something objective out there. Now, when you're a believer, my next question is, how does it serve you to peddle that?
That's why I'm explaining it to you, bro, Bobby.
No.
Look,
Well,
both
you
of,
brought, you
both
brought
of
in
my,
reality. Reality, I'm not a
right?
believer.
Yeah. I'm a believer so much that like both of my children finished college already. I
No,
believed
that's
it.
not believing. I could believe that your kids went to college. You were there. There's
Yes.
the difference. There's the difference. I would have
That's
to
it.
believe.
I
you-
know it. I know it.
You do know?
I know it.
Okay,
So
now let's apply.
knowing is
I'm
a doubt.
Bougie.
So
Time out for a
we don't
second.
want.
Now apply discernment after you know, because that's a baby step to know something. See, believers get onto a stumbling block.
I cannot
See, you're
even
trying to-
believe.
you're trying to tell me
Okay.
a
Let me
story.
tell you first. Let me tell you
Okay.
first.
Go ahead.
The only way that you can make us believe you, if you can show us a certain level of wealth, maybe thing. But if you don't, we don't believe you.
Yeah, but they fuck around with your senses. There's the believer.
No.
Okay,
If you can look
If
for
you're gonna
us,
say no, if
we're
you're
so
gonna say-
realistic, bro.
Bougie,
So
if
it's
you're
all
gonna
about
say-
step for us in making
Bougie,
that move
Bougie,
to
if you're gonna-
success.
If you're going to say no, then I'm not going to have a conversation with you.
Go ahead.
Now, if you want to have a conversation, because no is basically, Dom, I don't agree with you. I don't give a flying fuck about that shit.
Exactly my point. Me as well, my brother, but because we could just say stuff,
Yes.
but if we don't have no success within that saying, like we cannot take that step to get there,
Mhm.
I don't believe.
But if they're preaching something through a lens,
No,
like you're a
No.
believer.
no, but because
Okay,
success
well,
speaks
then
for
we're good.
itself.
Okay.
Success
there-
speaks for itself. If we're successful,
You keep gatekeeping yourself. You keep gatekeeping yourself. Enjoy that, by the way.
Well, I believe Gaddafi died. I watched that nigga get stabbed on camera.
You did, but you saw it on camera, right? You saw it on.
I saw that shit on camera.
I know you're joking, by the way, H, but you're using your senses through a lens. Were you there? No. So you can only believe. It's not like as though you were there and you said, listen, Dom, I literally saw the blood and I saw the person killing them. At that point, you would be a knower. And then you can actually apply discernment. But for most people, when you hear shit, then you're a believer. Whether it's written or spoken, but were you there?
So
Like
here is the
Jesus.
question. So okay, now how are we going to transmit this knowledge into reality? What do you think, bro?
Well,
Dumb.
reality is the objective realm. So when I'm touching something, that's reality. Now I can say I can use my imagination. I'll call it a knuckle hitting a laptop. So now once you pull it down from the imagination, I am a jinn, then you can actually bring it into reality. But reality is a mortal thing, which is fun to play with. That's what I'm saying. The senses are easy to be misled. All of a sudden, they can put 3 more suns up in the sky. Would it confirm or denounce the first one was an image or not? At that point, you'll realize how much you've been indoctrinated. The fact that you're using a language, you're indoctrinated. It's easy to fuck the human race. To know
Do you speak any other dialect? Let me ask Doom. Do you speak any other dialect?
languages, yeah, I can speak Latin, but then again, I also speak numbers and colors. I've learned American Sign Language.
Let me. So we'll say we speak Spanish. You should be able to comprehend Spanish with us, or how about
Probably not.
Tagalog, like the Filipino language? Are you gonna be able to comprehend with us?
Where are you going with this, by the way?
No, no. I was just saying.
Okay, do you know
So
that each
if
language? Okay, do you
oh
know
my
each
God,
language? Okay, but you're asking. See, you're bringing these stories, and I'll gladly tell you. Each language has a different frequency to it.
yes, yes.
You know
There
that.
we go. There we go. Now we're
Interesting.
going somewhere. Please, please. What?
Except
So
for the English
now,
language. The
for
English language
me,
is babbling for
eh,
real.
for me, wandering
The trade
warriors
language.
or Charles. Since that
Huh?
he say words and all of that stuff, I usually use the 722 name of God to manifest all of the things that I want.
What God? What God are we talking about now at this point?
The
There's a lot
72
of God.
name is
Okay.
the frequency, is the word. Remember,
Okay.
see, he didn't even know it. See,
Okay.
that's why I feel so bad to this guy. Oh my
Well,
God.
time out.
And
Hold
he
on.
probably
Buji,
young. How
are
old
you
are you,
trying to
bro?
do Buji?
How old are you, bro?
Buji, stop it.
Let me
Are
ask
you
you, how
doing
old are you so I can measure your understanding? How old are you?
my
Um,
vessel's 61. You're a child to me still.
What do you mean I'm 55 years old? So you're only
Okay,
5 years
that's
old older
so
than
then
me.
why would you say
Look
that?
at my vessel, bro. Look at
Buji,
my
John
do
has to
you
vessel.
tell you the
Look at my
details
vessel.
before
okay,
you
stop it. Buji.
Man,
Look
I
at
thought you
look
was
at
Talking about
27. I
what
thought you was
is that?
25.
this is
I'm 38.
55
I
years
feel like
old vessel,
19.
bro. See,
Okay.
this
Buji,
is
are
the
we having
now.
Buji, are we having a conversation here?
This is crazy stuff, bro.
Okay,
See,
good
this
enough.
is 55 years old vessel, bro, and I feel like you
Damn,
didn't
you guys
even
are
made it.
older than me. I'm
Okay,
only
good enough.
Yeah,
40
I feel
about.
like Doom didn't even made it, bro. I feel like Doom didn't made it. He could say it, but whatever the educo or like the information that's coming up from within is not even resonating to into reality. It's sad. He probably sick. Are you
Dude,
taking
Are you telling
medication,
me or
Doom?
asking me?
Oh, I'm
Buji,
telling you.
are
I'm
you
telling
telling
you.
me? Okay, so then I
I'm
guess
telling you. Yes.
okay, so I'm
What type
sticking.
of medication you're taking, Doom?
None.
Can you show us how you look if you don't mind?
Buji, we're having a conversation here. Are you
Oh
trying to
my
have a
God. No,
gotcha
no, no,
moment?
no, because we wanted now your knowledge,
No,
your
you want that.
educo, like look, your information, your DNA from the inside,
Buji,
and it should resonate within.
Buji. When I said you're being like a child, your emotions are getting the best of you right now.
No, I'm not. Well, you see me, I'm smiling. I don't even use profanity.
Who are you
You're
trying
the
to
one who,
argue with right now?
you already use profanity in the front of us. That's what we're asking. How's your vocabulary?
That
Look, that's why English is our like what fourth language, and we still try to communicate with you. That's why I asked if you speak Tagalog or maybe Spanish, so that we could really have a more in-depth and emotional word I could use for to you.
marijuana. Oh, I love weed.
Eh,
Me too.
make sure you guys light up. You make sure you guys light up. Make sure you guys smoke. You smoke, dude?
Yeah. Smoke weed every day.
Every day. Look at them. This is my
Weed
life.
isn't a
This is
drug, it's a medicine. Unless it becomes dangerous when you got the government growing it for you. When they made it legal,
Yep.
I said, oh, they're gonna kill us with it.
we are
Yep. And they
programmed.
I did the research on that, and it's like small traces of cyanide in that shit. So like eventually 10, maybe 15, 20
We
years
all
from now, they're gonna die.
It,
Like, how I get cyanide in me? I don't know. It was smoking that shit.
cyanide? That's your
Yup.
son, Boji?
Oh,
That's your
That's me
son?
right there, bro. That's me right there. That's me right there, bro.
Oh,
I was using my daughter, but thing because she just graduated at UC Davis last week, bro.
That's what's
nice.
up.
You know,
My
my
daughter
last one.
graduate. My daughter graduate this summer.
Salute,
Yep.
Nice.
salute. So you know,
I'm
I mean,
not
Yeah, she finally
I'm
grown. She
not
be 18 next month. She be
I'm not a
18 next
fan of
month.
these schools, but I'm not a fan of schooling. But if
Me too.
you know, you could use it as a tool though. So,
it's a
you know,
tool, great tool, bro. Like right now, you know, my eldest son got bachelor science of nursing, his specialization in biological science. He work as a
Hell
researcher,
yeah.
making 125 an hour. It really helped, bro.
Yep.
hey, Paul and Nitz and Tammy. Anyone else come in?
Salute everybody in the chat. What's good, y'all? Grand Rising.
Salute.
Damn, I gotta put my verse down, man. I'd be fucking. I'm the most procrastinator. Like,
Yeah,
You
I
just
was
need the
even
right
hanging out
motivation,
with
bro. I
I was
understand
even hanging out
procrastination, but like
at
you just
Vegas
need the
with
right
Raul,
motivation.
Charles.
You need the right
You
motivation.
yeah.
know, you know Raul, the UFC fighter, Charles. I was hanging out with him in Vegas last week. Look,
Who's it? I can't see. A
Raul
fighter?
Ruiz, wee. Yeah,
Oh shit! Yeah, I like that young man. Like that didn't
yeah,
sound right. Woo! Let's rewind that. He's a good
wee.
fighter. That yeah, him yo. That he's gonna go a long ways in fighting.
Right.
His skills are up there.
Hey, look where I stayed at. Look, let me show you where I stayed at.
I just hope UFC don't turn him into a
Look where I stayed
WWF
at.
fighter.
Look,
Like
this is
let
where
him
I
Wait a
impress
stayed
minute,
at
wait a
last
minute. He
week.
said WWF. I think WWF and UFC merged together. I think they did some type of merger. I'm not really sure, man,
Hey,
but I heard through the
Oh no,
grapevine they doing
that
some
ain't
shit.
good.
hey,
You gotta look it
That's
up
not
though. Look
good.
it up though. I heard through the grapevine though. I heard through the
they did,
grapevine.
my brother. They did.
They did.
Just like
Dang.
that. Just like MLB
Dang.
is starting to. All the sports are turning into a
I
entertainment,
even
right?
took a shot at that thing, the spear that the
Oh,
thing is last week.
checker flag.
Pretty good spear down there. Yeah.
Damn, I just
Yeah.
thought when you finish a race in NASCAR, they're throwing up the Masonic floor. The checker
Yup.
flag.
Yep. I just thought about that too. Thanks for reminding me about that.
Yeah, the Masons are in all sports. Baseball is the most Masonic ritual there is.
Look, look at all of the cigarette pack, all of the cigarette pack. Especially when you remove the Marlboro cap on the top, you see the you know what I mean, the pyramid, even the
I got Newports
all
right
of them,
here.
all of them.
You talking about
Look at it,
Marlboro?
all of them. It could be camel, all of them.
Well, Newport's got the upside down Nike swoosh.
Man, all of them.
Marlboro got the Lions, the Triple K. I heard it was a Triple K member that owned Marlboro back in the day. I don't know. Look, even gangs are Masons. People just, I try to tell people, why do you think they're red and blue? Why do you look? You got the Norteños and the Southerns, the Serenos, red and blue. You got the Crips, the Bloods, red and blue. I forgot Chicago has gangs too, but I forgot their colors. I think might be red and blue. I think
Chicago have Gangster
Medians,
Disciples,
which are
Latin
blue.
Kings, and the P
Yep.
Stones. I think the P Stones are red. I
Yep.
think the folks are black and blue. Vice Lords are purple. Latin Disciples are yellow.
Damn, in New York,
I mean,
they got
the Latin Kings. Latin Kings are yellow. I mean,
Even last week, we took a shot of what's happening. Look, at the
the
light.
Decepticons in New York rock purple.
Look, what's happening last week at the light? Let me show you. I'm telling you, they
It's
giving
the-
away all of the award last week.
Where's your
damn.
They're giving away all of the award last week. Look, this is Manuel El Lodge, guys. In
You're a Mason?
look, look, this is what up. You guys. Yeah, look.
Why are Masons
Damn, where's
always
that?
old men?
It's just like Rambo said, old men talk, young men die. It's like Rambo said,
Yeah,
old
you
men
know what's
talk,
funny?
young men die.
Masons wear an apron, but they don't even build anything.
They wearing an apron and they not even cooking shit.
Oh. I remember I used to do sheetrock, and I had this
I got
French
married
boss. He was from France.
on the Redlands Lodge. You know what I mean? I got married. My wife and I got married on that lodge. You know, I mean, my dad, my brother-in-law,
What's the benefit
everybody.
to being in the lodge? I know one benefit is a lot of people. You'll know a lot of people who make money, and then you could, could
Money,
learn
girls,
things
and
that way.
parties, baby. Money, girls,
And
and parties, and a nice ass business. And a nice small business
Hey,
you run.
you
He
got to
laughing
pay
too.
your
I
dues.
gotta be right.
hey, Charles.
You got to pay your fucking dues. They're taxing you.
Hey, yo,
Hey,
dudes, nigga,
hey,
you get on it.
hey, Charles, you can get the lifetime, bro. If you come out, you can get the lifetime
But what I
Oh,
also heard is
lifetime
like
membership.
it's
Go
like in certain lodges, like they have like a code. It's like God, community, and family. So that's what I heard when I was doing my research. I was on a couple panels, with a couple mazes, and like
Look,
they was
I was
telling
telling
small
to
things.
Charles, I can bring the 33 degree Freemason and break it down. As long that you don't ask for, you know what I mean? The question that they don't want you to ask about ritual, but they will answer you everything.
Mhm.
I
The
never
only thing
said
that they won't
Masons were all
tell you
bad
is about
people.
rituals and stuff. They're not gonna tell you about that, bro. You know what I mean? They're not gonna tell you.
I could find
I'm
all
being
that
truthful to
out.
you, but they will tell you everything.
Bro, you could find anything on the internet.
I mean,
The
whatever. It's
rituals,
all
all of
about
it.
the right.
I think a lot of Masons, real masonry to me is carpentry, roofing, stuff like that. That's what the lodge. But then other walks of life got involved. I mean, to me, the true masonry was about having a craft, like stone masonry, freaking carpentry, um, architecture.
Architecture
I always
dead
wanted
now,
to be.
man. We got square
I always
boxes
want.
for buildings now. We got square
Yeah, right.
rectangular boxes now. It's
That's just
over.
lame.
They wanted to do it in a kind of efficiency. They don't wanted to do no more. I mean, real type of talent work, man. It's not if they wanted to save money. They wanted to save time. It's all about that quick and easy, bro.
I wanted to be an
Yup.
architect.
Me
Uh,
too. At one point, at one point in time, and then I started rapping in 2002, and that shit kind of went on the back burner.
Architecture
hey,
takes a lot of you gotta know math, and not only that, you gotta know the codes too, depending what city you're in, depending what state you're in. There's all these fucking
Yup.
codes.
Yup.
Damn,
Measurements
what
and rectangles and triangles and measurements.
sacred geometry. Like the old architecture
Geometry, yeah. Yup.
is based off of all the shapes. Now it seems like you said architecture is based off of squares and
Yeah,
rectangles.
rectangles and boxes. It's like a fucking prison. It's like a fucking like a box. It's like
Yeah.
a prison box.
Since Don was talking about energy, right? I heard square rooms trap the energy. Pitched roofs let the energy flow out. But squares trap the energy. There's nowhere for it to flow.
Wow.
That's interesting. So if you're angry,
I'm looking at my
someone told
room
me
right
like you're
now. I'm like,
pissed
ain't that a
off.
bitch? I'm thinking about like all the houses I ever lived in. Like, yep, square, 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 fucking square.
Even the roofs aren't going to be pitched no more. I mean, they're really,
About the smart city, this bitch. Smartcityboxes.com. It's over.
I seen a video this morning about Clinton. I don't know how true it is, but this woman was
It's
being
true.
interviewed, and she said Clinton. You ever see the video of her tongue going in the glass? I don't know, whatever. That's interesting, but
Talk to Hillary Clinton shit when that shit go into that glass. She was like motherfucking reptilian, motherfucking egg or some shit. Like she was laying an egg
slowed it down.
in a cup.
You can see her tongue. It was a tongue or something. I don't know, whatever. It could be CGI'd in, but
That was rude.
this woman was being interviewed and said, I don't know, I think she was a child when it happened, that they took a 5-year-old girl and used a scalpel and cut her face off and pulled it off.
Oh my God.
Now, one question is, I was thinking in my mind, I quickly had a question. I'm like, if you cut with a scalpel around, the lady made it seem like they just pulled her face off. There's no way. You ever skin a fish? How you gonna cut? You would rip the whole face off. She said she was sitting there with just flesh that they were able to cut. I don't know, whatever. You would have to rip.
They have to numb the body for that.
Girl,
You know, they gotta really super numb the body. They gotta really numb that whole fucking body to motherfucking in order to do that. But still, though, we pulling off skin.
Screaming. And Clinton put her face on and then looked the little girl in the face, and but I was stuck on the part that little girl would have been passed out in pain, talking about she was sitting there like, come on.
Unless she wasn't real. Like, unless she wasn't real, if she was an automaton or a fucking robot or a fucking clone.
They
can't feel no pain.
Leatherface. Damn, I think I saved the links to it. I'm thinking of
they is talking about some shit at MIT, like MIT talking about making some motherfucking like synthetic bodies with like ain't trying to put brain chips in motherfuckers so they have no emotions. I'm like, what the fuck is MIT doing? The motherfuckers is dabbling in too much shit. First AI, now motherfucking making bodies and shit. Y'all niggas wildin'.
Dom changed. Dom put the yoni.
Most people don't actually know what that means.
It means the vagina, right?
Nope.
It's the vagina, right?
Nope.
It means an actual square in the circle.
It means the vagina.
Okay. Okay, sure. Hold on.
I could say many meanings to that.
Mm-hmm. The G
that kind of remind the left and I was gonna say left and right brain, but G would be the throne of God, your third eye. But anyway, I've heard of the G spot in a woman. That's the vortex. I've heard of so many different things. That's the yoni.
When you look at nature, Charles, nature's curvature. And what humans create is angles. So there's the two descriptions of those two things. The G stands for G-host. Most Masons, whether they're 33.
What? G-host?
G-host.
Ghost? The spirit?
You said it openly. You're a god.
Yeah.
G-host. You give up the ghost. It's always there. So now most people, it's like being a Catholic or whatever, they're not going to really understand it. Most Masons aren't going to understand it. That's just a network system. Mm-hmm. To be 33 degree Masons when there's 360 degrees, if not more.
You're no longer frozen.
Yeah. So again, they're throwing symbols, but most people don't realize you got to go inwards on that. Now, you might be a student like a Manly P. Hall or a Helen Blavatsky or a Steiner, but they were students. Most people aren't even teachable.
Yeah, I like Manly P. Hall.
Yeah, well, he does share a lot of information.
Makes me think. A lot of this stuff makes me just sit back and dwell on some stuff. I'd be like,
okay. Manly P. Hall, Alan Watts, Earl Nightingale, Carl Jung, all day. Hell yeah, for sure.
Now, once you put down that thinking process and the feeling process, now you can get into the gut. Now you can take information intuitively. But for most people, they're caught up in their head. At that point, they're being clever with themselves. They've gone from smart to being clever, opposed to being wise.
I never looked at it like that, Dom, because you're right. The gut, the mind, the heart, those are all different. It's almost like they're up in their head, stuck.
Yes. Well, no,
forget about the gut and the heart.
they're not stuck, but this is why when people say thinking or reason, they're using that hemisphere. But then, of course, they kind of cleverly say right and wrong. No, there's right and left hemispheres. That is where the king and queen sits. But inside is where actually everything else resides. So then you turn inwards. Then you'll realize, okay, once you go beyond know thyself, then you realize, are you the observer of the self? Are you being observed? Then you realize you're in a material world, an evil world.
It's
That's
a
all that means.
material world.
There you go. Madonna called it for what it is. But then again, I'm pretty sure they gave her a song to sing. So once you become aware
And she
of
had
that,
a
went over
motherfucking
everyone's
pyramid
head.
jacket on the back of her leather jacket too.
Yeah,
She had that
yeah.
Illuminati. She had that Illuminati on.
and
She was rocking
most,
all Illuminati apparel.
well, but that's the thing, H. A lot of those characters, they're actually in the mid of that pyramid. Forget about the fact that there's another thing that's separate from it. That's the mind. You're living inside of a realm. So, and within that realm, you're within another realm. In this case, you're in that little meat suit or that body, that temple, whatever word you want. But it's entertaining. Yeah, here we go. We're going to become believers again.
No, I did that by accident. I'm trying to erase
Well, it's
this
okay.
stuff.
It's okay. I was just trying to explain how the senses are easily misled. You know,
I laugh when I see this shit, man, because people they be like, I mean, like you said, we're so easily, because I used to, like I said, I'm grateful my grandfather kind of gave me game without even knowing it, being young, 9, 10, 11. He always watched CNN. I would just listen to him. And he would be pissed. My grand lost money in investments, so I could learn from him. I learned from his mistakes. But yeah. Anyway,
well, we all can learn from people's mistake or their pursuit. You know, you watch a person put their hands on the stove. Is it really a mistake if we're actually learning from it? You know, what wisdom comes from observing it, but also you need people that are going to, you know, put their hands on the stove. So there's where wisdom comes. Now, somebody could say, Dom, I'm older. I said, so you're wise because you become a diabetic? No. Wisdom comes when you can avoid those things. Because there's so many
well, yeah,
things
they do. They become a diabetic, Dom, and then they're like, well, you guys can't eat this food, or you're going to end up like me. They had to learn the hard way. Anyway, that was stupid. What happened here? I can't shrink my screen. There we go. I mean, is it me or does that church look buried?
That church looked
pretty
like it was
high
probably
up.
dug up. Hell yeah, that shit looked like it was probably dug up. It looks like some shit that'd be in an ancient Harry Potter movie. Some Harry Potter motherfucking temple and shit.
But I'm looking at this now, and you
Or
know
Dark
how
Souls.
high up that part of the church would be? Unless that's just a tower. Hold up. Maybe that's just one of those towers that...
It looked like my
Shit, back
Masonic
then-
temple in Detroit. It looked like my Masonic temple a
Yeah.
little bit.
Doesn't
And it's the
say
biggest
this
one in the
picture.
world. We got the biggest Masonic temple in the world in Detroit. I'm like, this motherfucker like a goddamn castle. Like, what the
In New Britain, they got a shitty Masonic temple. It looks like a Jehovah Witness building. I'll show y'all one day. Mm-hmm. It's out near the reservoir. Well, it's across the street from Martha Hart Park. And yeah, it's got a shitty little parking lot. And it's just a building. It's pretty terrible. They should be ashamed of themselves. Call themselves
Yeah, our shit
Mason.
is right
And they're
across the street
building
from Little Caesars
trash.
Arena. Right across the street from Little Caesars Arena. Like that, damn.
We'll get back to this picture because this picture is old. And the reason why I downloaded it is because, excuse me, it looks like things are buried in this picture. And I've got a lot of pictures where stuff's buried from the pyramids in Mexico. So it makes me wonder, how many times has this place, been reset? And my second question is, let's say the military does guard this so-called ice wall that goes all the way around, whatever goes in them areas, round, circle, whatever. what's important with keeping us here? They don't want us to go out there. So what's out there they're keeping people from? That's my question.
Exactly.
Because I want to go out
Exactly.
there.
Yep. Because it's like we have all this turmoil and bullshit like over here on this side of the wall, right? But how come every nation across this goddamn planet can agree with that Antarctic Treaty? So yeah, I agree with you, dog. They're keeping us from something. Because if everybody can agree on some fucking treaty and not agree on healing the planet, taking care of the people, something is up. Something is up. We got to be an experiment, a food source, and prisoners.
Well, I think
Who
it's
knows?
keeping the sheep herded. Because if people found out there was resources and fruit and all this stuff outside, if people could make it, like we don't even know the conditions that's there. It could be freezing cold. I mean, how are we gonna get there? And just a lot of variations. But if there's like untouched resources and there's all this fruit and everything out there, they don't, they're greedy. They want it all for them, and they got to keep the sheep herded, or they're not gonna be these rich people controlling everyone at the top, having all the good benefits. They'll just, if the system falls apart, they're just nobodies now. So they gotta keep us herded and keep us enslaved. And they're doing a good job. People don't even have gardens anymore. Who the fuck knows how to grow food anymore, right? They control the water, the food, shit, might as well say the air too.
They spraying it. They say they about to spray the skies in April. They already told it. They about to spray the skies in April. They about to block out the sun. They about to put some mirrors in space so the motherfucker do some reflection shit. And trying to build an artificial sun. Bill Gates trying to block the sun. It's like, what the fuck? And yet we can't go across that goddamn wall to get the fuck away from this shit.
I mean, if they got buildings and architecture in cities like this, I mean, even in the jungle there, they say, oh, the Mayans just disappeared one day. When they said that in school, I looked at the teacher like, shut the fuck up. They just disappeared one day. This marvelous city, and one day they were like, come on, guys, we're out of here.
What, Charles?
They're probably slaughtered.
You didn't want to be a believer about the Mayans?
I was tired of believing all these nonsense stories.
So now here's a question.
I couldn't believe that shit either. It's like they just suddenly disappeared. What the fuck happened to what the fuck did God take them? Did he smite them? What the fuck happened? It just disappeared. Ain't no such thing as just disappearing, because like when I see disappear, I see a motherfucker just disappear from existence. Like, where the fuck these motherfuckers go? Did they get killed with smallpox or they get killed with blasting? Like, what the fuck? They just get disappeared and just like leave some good shit behind like that. That don't make no damn sense. Did a spaceship come and get them? What the fuck happened? Like,
you would have to be a believer then for that story.
I know, right? Then he walked through a Stargate.
Not a believer. So I guess, guys, we could go if we wanted to into the depths of our oceans, but you would have to create something. So for you to go to these other realms, you're going to have to shed that suit.
I believe that. I definitely believe that. I know once I leave this bitch, this suit gonna be laying here, decomposed.
It's here.
My spirit gone.
That's right. It's
Finally.
Like when you go to prison, and they give you a suit. When you leave, say, no, you got to leave the suit here. So it's the same thing there. So now, if you were going to go somewhere else, let's say go beyond those walls.
Poor Dom had to use prison. Oh.
No, I'm using that as an example, right? So, but at the same time, if you left and then past the ice wall, maybe where even all the forests or where all the waters are held, you might find out where you might even find out where all the technology comes from. Because honestly, you honestly think humans are capable of actually creating Wi-Fi? They do plug and play. So now, when they talk about their middle management,
that's an antenna. That's a fucking antenna right there.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, to some other realm. So again, it's like when they do it openly when they do with NASA with the rocket ship. They do it on an angle. So where's it going? Where's it going? They're not going to the moon.
The outer lands.
Maybe, and then they're giving gold in exchange.
Or the ocean.
It could be. But again, I would have to be a believer at that point. Because if I was actually there, I would be somebody that knows now. So I'm a believer. It's always fun when I have conversation with people say, well, I'm not a believer. Really? You're not a believer. So how are we going to have conversations then if you're not a believer?
I'm a speculator.
Yeah, yes, and that's part of believing. There's nothing wrong with it. An ideal is a belief system. So when we're having these conversations, anybody here know where air is? I don't know. Does anybody know where, when they say they go to a near-death life experience, maybe that's just a transformation, but where do they go? Where do we go when we go to sleep? Who the fuck's running your body right now? Well, I got to be a believer because somebody told me. Science told me something. Religion told me something. Those club members told me something. Was it Rosicrucians? Was it Skull and Bones? What story did they tell you? And how did you take that information? Oh, you took it with the written word. So you're a believer, aren't you?
Excuse me.
Again,
When I saw her face,
yeah.
now I'm a believer. And you got to see the face first. You got to see the face first to believe. Ain't that
And the funny thing is, H, you'll hear people say shit like, I won't believe it until I see it. Well, once you see it, you're no longer a believer. You know it.
You know it now.
Dang, that is
So the
kinda
song should have been
asinine.
changed. Gotta change the song now.
Dude.
They talk about believe all day. That song been in my head forever, dog. I had to get it out. I had to get the song. I had to say it once.
Yo.
Shouts out to everybody. What up, though, Mazar? What's good? Shouts out to everybody. You be going live early, Charles. But what time is it over there where you at? Because it's 11:16 over here in Detroit.
I think Charles is the same place I am. It's 11:15 a.m. right now.
Oh, okay, cool. So damn, they used to be waking up going live like, fuck it, let's go live.
I don't think we went to sleep, H.
Look at this.
Like I think I went.
This building is dope.
All right, now my questions for all these pictures, are these real pictures or did somebody draw these bitches very fucking well? That's my question. Because these bitches look intricate like a motherfucker.
They could be art renditions. You know, when people that do engineers or whatever, they'll do drawings or whatever. And,
okay.
Some of them do look like they were like Don knows I'm talking about. Remember, you do too, a Hurricane. When you used to take pictures, you would. Well, I used to go to this place named CVS, still in the same spot, but we used to take pictures there, and you have from the camera you could look up at the light and see them, the negatives. It looks like sometimes they overlay negatives, like the background could be fake. But then when I look buildings up, they're real buildings. So I don't know what they were doing back in the day.
What might give it away sometimes, especially if it's like a picture that with our technology, is there any people near there? You know, like are they people walking around and there's cars? A lot of times these are sketches. These are sketches.
Like, yeah, where's the people? Where's the carriages? Because that look like a Times Square right there.
Mm-hmm. Then we invented
a lot of if they are sketches, these places exist. That's for sure.
Well, they could, again, we're living in an age of green screen and digital.
Whoa.
So a lot of that could be redone or retouched up and then give it to us and then give us, it was in history. I said, no, that picture was just done 2 days ago. But some of these landmarks might literally still be around.
Yeah, I don't think this one is. I mean, just look at that, man.
It looks real. It looks real to me.
Like,
you know, there's like a realism to it. Yeah, man. But still, where's the people? But they all in the crib on a date.
Now I'm gonna have to come with receipts.
Well, and again, another one would be.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good because this shit still look good and intricate.
My ego's kicking in. My ego. They're fucking real.
It can be. Well, you're using your senses, but again, it'd be one of those.
They gotta be real, because because these places, like like these bitches are built. Like, like they got that shit that they, that's better than our buildings. So like they gotta still be there. I think it's part of Tartaria or the Shalago shit. Is this still the Tartarian buildings?
I think this is in Asia or India, around there.
All right, so where was Tartaria? Like, was Tartaria like in Europe or some shit, or in Russia? So like, what would
Near
be
Russia.
over there in the Asia part? Like,
The
unless
Mongolians.
Tartaria. All right, cool. All right, cool. So
I heard the Mongolians were dark people. They weren't.
but who was the builders of they shit over there? Like, was it Tartaria or the Mongolians? Because I don't think the Mongolians had no motherfucking intricate skills like this.
I think all people built, you know, just like today. They're, you know, they probably learned from each other too.
So let me understand this. Back in those days when they built these things, there was a union hall. People used to go to the union hall and voluntarily go to work. That would have been slave work probably back then.
Probably. They probably paid them just like today.
They paid them. They paid them by saying,
or both.
Either you
Because I
die
can't
or.
see the architect. Like, that's crazy. Like, think about that too. It's like an architect, you know, designs the building and how it's going to look and everything. But now the problem is they got to bring it to life.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to whip a few people and be like, you know, do that. Whip them with some pennies.
Some people would have been.
Pay you 10 cents.
Yeah, some people would have been visionaries. They would be able to download information like mystics or seers, and then they would actually, you know, back in the day they'd be prophets. But the rest of the people, like humans, no matter what age it is, very simpletons. We're all simpletons. Like, you know, anybody that created Wi-Fi? Who gave us the technology? Who gave us the language as we're speaking right now?
Now that I know what Wi-Fi is, I've been a Wi-Fi tower for 44 years and didn't even realize it.
There you got it, Charles. Yeah, we are receivers, hence the word Kabbalah. We are receivers of information. But the question is, who's receiving? Is it the body? Because it can. But a lot of times with all this new technology, the body is the one that's being punished, meaning that it's in that environment. That's why some bodies, not a lot of body, goes into disease mode, and then cancer cells become activated. But then they reward the cancer cells.
Because I'm thinking about the human body, like a bunch of like spirits. Like, man, we got to create this biological body to go in this realm. Just like people in this realm would sit around and create suits to go in other environments.
Yep, and that's why we are actually artificial intelligent, not that thing that's called a software. That's not artificial intelligence, but it can actually mimic the language we use. It's always fun when I hear things where, you know, well, we're using the human language. No, humans use a language. It's not human language.
That's what's up. This is why I always said our brain is the best quantum supercomputer. Fuck AI.
We are AI, so we'd be fucking ourselves at that point in age.
Remember people out there that believe that AI come from another goddamn planet, and they think it came here. And some people believe that AI was already here, and it was under like these power structures and shit. And some people in power got a hold of it and took control of it, and now they're being brainwashed to manipulate the whole world to AI. Hey, yo, that's not my theory. That's conspiracy theory.
Well, at that point,
wouldn't that be wild, man?
Yeah, we're all.
I know, right?
Charles, do you remember? Because you like watching a lot of movies and TV series too, H. You remember the TV series called V?
V was the shit. V the Visitors. She ripped that nigga face out. It was a motherfucker was a reptilian. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Or other movies when they're body snatchers or whatever. There's a reason.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, there's a reason why we're called human beings. There's a reason why we're called human and being, because we've been spliced. So the one that's the being part, introducing all this technology, and most of the technologies are angles. But nature, that's another. That's why when I tell people, what God are we talking about here? Because there's different layers of gods. Now, they'll tell you a story. There's 72 gods. There you go, 7 and 2. Number 9. Interesting. That's the energy of spiritual material. So now, again, I get it. We're all being told stories. So at that point, we're all believers. I know that might sound harsh on my part, but at least we know where we stand. Well, Dom, I don't believe it. NASA told me this. So you're a believer then. I read it in a book. So you're a believer then. I read the Satanic Bible. You're a believer then, aren't you? I read the Quran. So you're a believer then, right? So then the next question was, once they finally realized that, How did it serve you to read the Bible from left to right, opposed to right or left? And what language were you reading in it? Where was the sun and the moon location when you were reading that information? Or did you download that information through inspiration? Oh, I don't know, Dom. There you go. How quickly they say, I don't know. But yet they'll go on and on and on. And then they'll say shit, how old they are. I said, you actually think you're the age of your body? You're a funny one.
I want to know how this voice works in our head. That's always intrigued me my whole life. Like, damn, we're speaking in our head.
Yeah,
Some wild shit.
Yeah. It's like being a child.
Found out that there are people that don't have a voice in their head or a motherfucking like inner voice. There are people out there that like they're officially calling NPCs now. It's like it was a study done. There's people out there that have no voice in their heads. Like, what the fuck?
That's wild.
That scared me. That shit literally scared me because like there's walking empty containers out here that just will motherfucker that will follow anything. It's scary. That scared me. Like, oh shit.
But then there's some
NPCs
people
out here for real.
They can be, but there's a good chance there's people that can play music and see colors. So again, we would have to be a believer when somebody tells me, well, Dom, there's people here that basically don't see images. Okay, I have to be a believer at that point. What do you mean? Because I'm not experiencing that. Again, it's stories that we tell each other. Now, I could literally look at a human being and say, listen, I've heard a human being running under 100 meters under 10 seconds. I can actually apply my senses to it and see it. That would be reality at that point. But if somebody told me that, I said I would have to be a believer until I see it.
Yeah.
There's the discernment. There's the difference. So when somebody says they can astral travel, I said I would have to be a believer because I've never astral traveled, but I can't denounce it either. It's usually the ones that say, well, Dom, I don't believe in that stuff. That's nice, but you can't denounce it. At that point, they must be atheists or humanists or Christians. You're all believers. Welcome to the club. It's the bigger club.
Yep. Yep. And if I was a person that did believe in astral projection, I still probably like have an open mind. I'm like, what if dreams is astral projection? Because we're still studying dreams, we're still studying memories, we're still studying the soul and spirit itself.
I can tell.
So it's like.
That's why they
use
a
lot.
They use the concept of it's probably better or it leans better towards being a receiving mind and maybe a beginner's mind. People sometimes that are open-minded, if they're not grounded, they can take in way too much information and then they go cuckoo, opposed to receiving.
I heard about that.
Because what ends up happening is they have so many layers of belief systems, which is okay, but they're becoming gatekeepers. And then once something introduces itself, it will shatter their paradigm. And now they're actually disenchanted. They're not trying to get back into the enchantment now. The word mint gives it away, by the way. Entertainment, government, settlement, you're all in the mind. Mind's eye.
That's deep.
Hey, when we go deep,
commitment. Commitment.
Yep.
Implement.
You got it, H. You got it. Well done, by the way. But again, a lot of folks in an age of information will take in information, but they'll actually become consciously ignorant opposed to just being ignorant. You know, it's no, people can't make excuses anymore. Well, Dom, I had omniscient. There's no way I could have known. You're living in an age, you can read information. Yeah, you can read information. You can download information. There's so many ways of giving information. It doesn't mean just because you download information, you're going to be able to comprehend that information. We're not at that point yet. We're just in the age of information. And the fact that we're in the age of Aquarius, that means it can travel through the air, hence Wi-Fi. Because if we had this technology way back when they were bringing out the written work, we would have never had the written work. It's too dumbed down. That's why when I hear people, Dumb, I read it in a book. Here you go. How did you read it? Like a scroll form? Did you read it from right to left to right? What language did you read it in? Because that's dumbed down. It's usually when you start actually maybe speaking it, it's a little bit better because then you can actually use it like a mantra and you can actually start embodying it.
And feel the vibrations of the words that you say. That shit just gave me chills because I remember studying back in the day. I remember studying shit back in the day. I'm like, nigga, I felt different. Like, whoa, is I myself? Do I just leave my body after saying the frequency right? Like, oh shit. Scared the fuck out of me in my early 20s. But yeah, you're right for sure. I study too much, and plus, you know, like you said, People go cuckoo, and I think before that they call some shit called spiritual psychosis or religious psychosis. Motherfuckers just go nuts.
It sounds like you're very grounded too, H. That's important. That's why people should practice grounding of some sort. You know, that's why we have the negative and positive. You know, it's always fun when I hear people talk about as above, so below. I say, yeah, but what about the grounding plate? It's like when you look at lightning, it'll come from the top and from the bottom. So at that point, are you grounded? It's like positive and negative. Are you grounded? Because if you're not, how does the car work? You have the polarities there, but how does the car work? So as the cycle moves, we have to be grounded. And then you can play with your imagination, you can play with religion and science and commerce. But what ends up happening when people start picking sides, they're like people that vote. You know, oh, I think this is right, this is wrong. Oh, okay, so you tell me when you're done. Why? You know, because like last time I remember, on a bike, you have to pedal both. Because if not, you're going to have a jogging action or you're going to have a lag. Well done, H, by the way.
For sure. I try to stay grounded and stay rooted because once I was high in the clouds, I was losing sight to what the fuck was on the ground. I was like, man, let me get grounded first, then go back in the sky and come back down, back and forth, talk to everybody. What up, though? You know, let me get well versed in a lot of shit. Let me learn some shit, try to stay grounded and balanced. You know, so I can be able to have these type of conversations, you know, because like I'm more on the revolutionary content, but like these are the conversations I really truly fuck with the most, you know, because like outside of the revolution and the art, the literature, I like to just chill back and watch esoteric shit, Carl Jung, Earl Nightingale, Alan Watts, Mally P. Hall, Gerald Massey, and a whole bunch of other, you know, like the cats that, you know, like dive into unlocking the self, or maybe the universe, or it's like learning the mechanics, you know, frequency, energy, vibration, and sound. You know, just learning, just trying to get real versed and grounded in all I can, you know, so I can have these cool ass conversations, because like these are conversations that we need to be having, because like that's what the elites have that fucking run this world. They know all this shit.
Oh, for sure. I'm pretty sure they're even among them.
And they using it against us. The bastards.
Well, I guess, H, if me and you were trying to succeed in something, other people would just be casualty. It's like, you know, when gangs have wars or whatever, and they're in a community, there's drive-by shootings. It just happens to be those people, they're in the wrong place. That's all.
Yep.
You know, it'd be different if all of a sudden there's people that are working their farms and they're working, you know, in nature, being hunters, and say, listen, what are the elites doing in those big smoky cities of yours? But for most of us, we're in it. We're participating in the game. So for us to complain, it'll be like being a slave and complaining to your master. Eventually your master said, we're giving them too much rope. You know, especially when you realize the masters are working for somebody else too. So again, these are middle management. So if people don't like civilization, take your chance with nature. Right out there. Leave your cars here. Leave your Wi-Fi. Leave your heated homes. Go out there. But most people wouldn't. I can say that about myself. I'd probably be back. Dare not anybody fast for 30 or 40 days, and you'll find out whether or not you actually even have the balls to go without eating. But you're capable of doing it.
And the ones that are doing it, the ones that are off grid and doing the van life, the tent life, or the car life, they being fucked with by the police. They're like, no, y'all gotta get back to this system or go to this homeless camp. Like, oh, y'all some bitches. I'm trying to be part of this shit.
Well, if they don't got a tent or they don't got a van or whatever, then they're not going to be fucked with because they wouldn't know where they are. But as long as you have something that belongs to civilization, they can fuck with you.
Damn.
You know, again, you can go back to nature. And nature will show you in a short period of time. You really want to work with us, interdependent, because we're going to have some monsoon season. We're going to have some snow. And you'll see how a majority of the people will come running back to civilization. And then hopefully I can say, listen.
Shit, don't get me. Fuck the weather. It's the insects and bugs.
There you go. You got it. There you go. Am I a meal? Am I a meal tonight? Yeah, you're going to be a meal.
Right. Am I a fucking meal tonight?
Yeah. But it's easy because, you know, we live in an age where people have this illusion, freedom of speech. Okay, yeah, but there's no freedom of action. So freedom of speech just means basically they can't hit you over the head for saying something that might make some people become aware. Because most people, they're really asleep hard. And you'll hear them. They'll start talking about politics because the media has to disturb them. You know, people that believes in certain types of matters, you know, if you were a slave or whatever, you would have gone underground Talk among your loved ones and say, listen, we're doing this for future generation. They literally have to fuel that shit in the media. Let's make Black Lives Matter, make midget lives matter. Really, that's being controlled from top to bottom. Even when they did with Malcolm X, let's get everybody from the underground come to the surface. Let's get the 5%ers out. So let's bring them all to Washington. At that point, they revealed their hands. And then people have to ask, well, Malcolm X, no, he was an agent. Same with Gandhi, he's an agent.
Hey, they had some good
When I heard
quotes,
about
though.
that Gandhi shit, I was like, oh, damn, not you, Gandhi.
Yeah, of course it's
Not
Gandhi.
you. I heard some shit about Mother Teresa. I was
There's a
like, not you,
Masonic
Mother
quote.
Teresa.
I forgot who quote. Anyway, I'm gonna pull the quote up.
Yeah,
It
please
says
focus on
that anyway, let me pull it up. I forgot his name, but
Yeah, again, Charles, before you pull that up, when they brought in Gandhi, that was just a transformation where India was giving, sorry, not India, the British Empire was handing over India to the people that they put in there to rule over it. Same like in China. That was just a transformation. So they just figured, let's give them a token and say, listen, don't fight, you know, don't rebel, don't argue. Oh, okay. So it's just a transformation. It's just no different today. You know, they're going to stir up America with all these little infighting and using the media. So then once they have a full-blown war, economically or real war, then America will say, listen, so that wall that you built, was it to keep people out? No, to keep people in.
Yup.
You know? And then people will be fighting each other. It's like watching The Walking Dead. You know, they don't realize that they're trying to survive. There's other communities around them that are thriving still, you know, and that's where we're at. You know, it's nice to learn about being a nationalist, whether it's an American or a Canadian, but it's nice to learn about how other people live on the surface of the earth and realize they have this as much shitty world as it is here. You know, but at the same time,
the world is a ghetto. The world, the whole freaking world.
It is a ghetto. And we have sub-ghettos. You know, I live in a European ghetto, or I live in an African ghetto. It's all ghetto. To a certain point.
I saw China's ghetto. I was like, and Sao Paulo, Brazil. I was like, ooh.
Do you remember the movie Slumdog Millionaire?
I never seen that. I never seen that.
It's cruel.
I know it came out like in the early 2000s, right?
They show bridges. You know how in Florida or in those places where you got to walk out down these piers to go onto your boat or whatever? There they have piers where you got to go down there and there's like a shitter at the end of it.
Damn.
Yeah, that's cruel.
Oh yeah, that's Albert Pike. That's the motherfucker that made the blueprint to World War III. We living in World War III right now. People think it's coming, but we already in it.
the villain too. It should say
Super
the villains
villain.
Also. Heroes
He
and
wrote
villains,
the blueprint for 3 world wars, and it came to pass. We in part 3 right now. It's like this motherfucker, Albert fucking Pike. World War III.
Alberto. Good old Alberto.
Here's one, H. Would people have a difficult time wrapping their head that all those wars have been foreseen in the skies? This is like we're Nostradamus and all that. This is why when I try to share,
They were on some shrooms, man. They had they were seeing visions.
Yeah, vision, exactly. Visions. But people think it's with the eyes. It's the eye. You can see it through the eye. And even the mind, there's something beyond it. Now, again, we would have to believers to entertain these ideals, which is still another way of saying a belief system.
Right.
But again,
we got our eyes, we got the mind's eye, we got the third eye.
Mm-hmm. And then people,
but who's behind the eyes?
Yeah.
The infinite consciousness, infinite awareness.
But then you'll get the materialistic people that are somewhat narrow, and they'll say, well, Tom, I don't believe in all that stuff. I say, okay, then give me a simple one then. Where's air? You describe it, we'll see its effects. I think it's erroneous to say cause and effect. It's usually the effect and side effect. Where's air? Oh, I don't know. Where's that the light? And by the way, what are the two things up in the sky there? What's holding that up? Is that a material? Is that an image? You know,
It's an LED light.
It could be. It
It's
could be an
LED
LED light. It could be a big crystal, as far as I'm concerned. At that point, you know, it's always fun when people say, "Well, Dom, that's heat." So let me understand that. I jumped out of a plane and I parachuted, and it's colder up there than down here. Interesting. I would say that maybe there's a magnetic here. I'm going to use a magnetic theory. It's a magnetic underneath, and as you have two plates, and the absence of clouds is where we get the concept of heat.
Fire and ice.
Yes, exactly. Fire and ice. But unfortunately, a lot of people say, well, but what about gravity? Gravity's a theory too. It's all a theory. We're all speculating. No different when a guy uses the telescope to look up at the Venus, and then they're speculating what they think the property is. You would have to actually be up there to confirm it. So at that point, we're
so
speculating.
they kept saying the theory so much, and it became the truth. Bastards.
Those bastards. And it is. It's a good word, by the way, bastard, because we put words to it, but what are the nuts and bolts to it? You know, it's just to know the difference. Now, somebody said, well, Dom, you know what it is. I said, no, I could speculate too. It's two objects in the sky. One we call sun. At one time, they used to call it Horus. One's called the moon, and you used to call it Luna. So what does it tell me when they start changing it? We're talking about in history, they've reported, again, I have to be a believer, that they decided that we're going to change the calendar. We're going to go from March 1st to March 5th to March 15th. Oh, so you're going to make shit up. Sure, we're going to make shit up because I got to be a believer.
I'll do you one better. Julius Caesar's made a fucking month called July. It don't fucking belong in this shit. Fuck Julius Caesar.
This
July, bitch.
The 1700s Bible, and in the Bible, it's 17. I think it was 1770 years. I don't remember. I'm gonna get the video, but he showed in the Bible that there was 13 months back then, and they started in March, and the first day of the week, I believe, was Sunday, not Monday. Obviously, I go by Sunday anyway.
But again, we're believers at that point because when they talk about energy, whether or not the original cycle was 13 months, 28 days, you can manipulate people's minds to think we're going to follow a Georgian calendar. But the energy is still the same. No different when they talk about the sun and then the father. The sun that they're talking about is a 7-day cycle. The father is Siri. That's a 10-day cycle. Oh, somebody's talking. Me.
You know, was another question that I had when God said, "Let there be light," before He made the moon and stars. What the fuck is light? Sun, moon, and stars was even existing yet. What is light? Talking about what is air? What is light?
Again, it's one of those things when people they have a near-death experience or somebody passes over. The word "pass over." Next thing you know, they're seeing the light. Yeah, you've done fuck all when you're a human. Go to it. You're going to be rebooted again. Now, if you choose to go beyond the light, that flaming sword, then you have a choice. Do you want to come back and help your fellow beings? Sure, why not? I'll give it a kick for a while. And this is where people talk about mastery. You know, you have those ascended masters talking to the descended slaves. But again, I'm a believer because I'm sharing stories. Can you prove it? I can't even prove where air is. So I can't even prove what are those two objects in the skies. How are they held up there? Because we have planes, we have airplanes, but they don't last that much. Like they don't stay up there that long. So then how is it that in recorded history, if we're going to play recorded history, they talk about the sun and the moon? Now, most people are going to get distracted because the media feeds them things like, let's just give them half full, half empty story. We'll say the earth is either flat or it's a globe. And then people will start culting up. Oh, I can't believe it. The earth is flat. Okay, so have you been high enough to confirm it? Well, no. So how would you know then? And then they use the same information from NASA that most people say, I don't believe in NASA. Okay, so you're a believer, but not a complete believer. Okay. H, we're chilling.
Well, I 60% believe, 70%.
I'm going to sell a quarter of my soul when I'm getting that extra 3%. You know, at that point, we're chilling in the garage, H. We're having a beer and say, this is fucking funny. And I'm the main character in my own joke. But Dom, but you don't understand, Dom. Okay, wait a second. The Tree of Life talks about understanding and knowledge. I'm sorry, discernment, wisdom. So you're asking me to understand you. I'm not living inside of your body. The only person that can understand you is you. I'm just telling stories. I'm just telling stories. Now, I'm not always, if people were able to see on my face, they'd say, Dom, you're always smiling because it's funny. I'm not being cruel to people. I'm not the one that's creating guns and then actually taking to another human being and try to kill them because I'm going to represent a fucking flag. That's a joke to me. And worrying about whether or not my color of my skin or my gender should make any fucking difference on being cruel to humanity, you got to be back axward at that point. You can might as well unbury your parents and kick them in the ass. I said, listen, they failed you as much as the generation before failed them. You know, when are humans, in this case, I'm just going to use humans, when are humans going to show some sort of dignity to each other? As people are working for the military and pharmaceutical, and other people might complain about it, but they're actually using the pharmaceutical stuff. I had a conversation the other day there. A guy was talking about drugs. I said, there's a difference between drugs and medicine.
Woo.
That's funny.
It's different between drugs and medicine. For real, for real. Yeah. Fuck the FDA. Food and drugs shouldn't even be in the same sentence. Food and drugs. Fuck that in the same sentence. Like, what the fuck?
So true. But again, it's all fun and games to a certain point. But I get it. Like I said, I've sent to you, Charles, numerous times. Most people don't want to hear this. And then what they do
I already know that.
They'll just keep talking
about stuff.
Yeah, they don't want to hear it. And you'll know because
I don't waste my time no more for the most part. I come up here and talk because I get to chat with other people that are somewhat like-minded, you know? So
appreciate that, Charles. I appreciate that. I know sometimes I'm the noise, but I'm always noise to a certain point. Once I open my mouth, I'm noise.
I love hearing the different perspectives and the different theories and the philosophies. You know, that's why I come over here, man. You know, I gotta show love to Charles, man. But the conversations are deep, you know, and like these are the other side of the conversations that I be, you know, thinking about or having or looking up. So like, I'm like, you know, it's good to talk about it, you know, because like they don't want to hear this or my revolution. So I'm like, shit. so like anybody listening to me, that's a cool thing. Like, oh shit, I got some listeners.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, there's I haven't watched him in about a year or so. There was a rapper. They used to have Sante Bonacci on his show too. You guys might know him. He used to bring a lot of people onto his panel, and they would have all kinds of, you know, in-depth conversations about things, whether or not it's a story. You know, same with even Bro Sanchez. He shares information. How you want to interpret it, that's on us. You know, give him kudos for at least putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
I
watched a little bit of Sanchez and I watched a little bit of Sinetta's channel because like the people be having debates and I be learning shit on both sides. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that. I didn't know that either. Oh shit.
Well, that is what a debate is. When people are debating, they're not trying to change each other's position. And hopefully you have a person that's organizing that. The people that are hearing it can see different perspective at that point. That is actually a true debate. It's not about winning or losing, because if we're playing winning or losing, let's put a gun in the middle then. Winner gets to, you know, make a decision. You know, you're playing for keeps at that point. But again, it's like sports. You can play for sports for winning or losing, or you can play sports to enjoy the game. And then other people say, I don't even play the game. I just want to watch it. You know, and they can learn something, you know, learn an athlete, what it takes to be a football player or a soccer player. And you hear them getting injury. You can even learn that. What's the recovery process? You know what I mean? Like if everybody had, you know, a contract, like say you're a Lamar Jackson and you're making all kinds of money. If he gets injured, they're going to spend a lot of money getting him back out there because he's a prize cattle or a prize horse at that point. You know, people might think, well, I don't agree with that. I said, well, you can agree whatever you want, but I'm pretty sure Lamar said, listen, I'll take my millions and take a chance. You know, it's always fun when I hear people say, Dom, they sold out. I said, no. Most people, if not all people, buy into the system. It's just how much are you going to hold out for a better price? Those are the sellouts at that point. They've held out a little bit.
Yeah. Woo. Deep conversation.
Oh, got to be a believer now. The picture's back here. He's a believer. I think he's my mailman, this guy here. At least I can't say I'm a believer because I see a guy that looks like him. But anyway. But, you know, there's a good chance they put this stuff in the media to show their club members, this is what we do to people that actually, you know, try to stray away or try to take over us. You know, they use them as an example.
Yeah, or try to say fuck our petrol dollar. Take this, Gaddafi. Like what the fuck?
They might have just made guys up. There's a good, because they talked about it. I remember when somebody was saying, I think it was Hillary Clinton, we finally got them. Well, because they know they have duplicates. They have body lookalikes. It's not, you're not always going to see royal families. Like they do fake jewelry. They do fake people. They're still theorizing.
I watched a movie called The Devil's Double. It was about a Middle Eastern leader, and he motherfucking looked for a guy that looked just like him, told him to take his place for a minute. I was like, whoa, this is deep.
Mm-hmm. And now with AI,
or it could be wearing a mask. Who knows? They be wearing a fucking mask.
It could be, but they've done studies, and they say there's a lot of duplicates of us. There's only so many certain shells of us. We just don't see a Dominic that looks like a Hindu, or H that looks like a what would you say, a Russian, for example. And now with the technology that we have, you don't even have to have a physical form. They could just put it on an image, and people are going to be a believer. Look, I saw it on TV, so there they are. How can they be there and be over there at the same time? Well, because we're believers.
Yeah.
It's always fun, especially when people get a reaction. What do you mean? I'm not a believer. Of course you're a believer. You just don't know it yet. And then they quickly start talking about things that are on the TV. Well, I heard Ukrainian. I said, you're a believer then. What do you mean? Were you there? Well, no. So how do you know what you're seeing on TV is actually true? Well,
that's what I want to know. All these wars and shit. I think it's bullshit.
Most of them are, Charles. Most of them would be. But then even if they're real, how does it serve you in that little world that you're living in then? Probably not. It's entertainment.
It really doesn't. It's like a fucking distraction. But I just bring this up because I was, I forgot how old when they allegedly killed this man, Saddam. What year did that
happen? It was in the 90s. I think they killed him in the 90s, I think. I'm not sure though.
The story was killed in the 90s.
The story was.
The story was killed in the 90s. It got revisited. It's like Mandela. They told you that he died whenever. I said, well, they would, if people actually were serious
after
about
9/11, huh? Wasn't it?
I think so.
They found him in a hole somewhere, allegedly. Yeah. But
okay, so like the first one died in the 90s and the second one got killed after 9/11.
now it's the Mandela.
Doubling.
Yeah, the double got killed.
Yeah. Fucking now he reminds me of the same tactic they're running with the Middle East. They're running with Venezuela. These people use the same shit. They recycle their fucking bullshit.
But if they really want to learn a little bit more about Venezuela, they have to understand about the Panama Canal, and they have to realize they've already crashed the market there. Most people that are pretty well off in Venezuela.
And in Venezuela, too.
Yeah, no different when they crashed Cuba. Again, these are economic decisions. But most people, they're going to be fed, those poor Venezuelans. I said, well, what about the Cubans? I'm pretty sure they're suffering. What about the people in Africa? They're all suffering to a certain point. But there's usually some transaction occurring. So it's like there's a reason why a lot of the Caribbeans get abused, because it's a waterway to travel all the products. As all those big cubicle stuff comes from other parts of the world to feed developed countries, even though we're probably more
cocaine.
There you go.
Politicians sniff so much fucking coke, man. It's a joke. I'm gonna start making videos of when these politicians are being asked questions and their fucking jaws moving like a fucking jackhammer. Fucking, and they look geeked out. Their eyes are like fucking headlights.
Again, Charles, if people understand what liquor,
it's entertainment to me. It's hilarious.
It can be, but if people really understood when you do liquor, what you can channel in or out, it's the same thing with cocaine. Same with bloodletting. So at that point, they're channeling something.
Right.
Think about a guy like Seth MacFarlane. He makes all kinds of cartoons and all that. How is he able to download all that information? He might be doing certain things. People only get caught up. People. Go ahead.
Jim Carrey too. I used to think he was the demons.
Yeah. So whether or not you're actually consuming blood, gold, cocaine, whatever, you're putting yourself in a state so something can probably come in or download information to you. Think about gold. Gold is done in a lot of properties that we use for devices. It's a conduit. So at that point, when people do cocaine, they probably have people that understand when you do cocaine, you have to do it with the lunar set up a certain way. This is why when people learn about parasite cleanse, you have to understand the moon cycle. Again, it's about energy. It's always about energy. It's neither created or destroyed. So at this point, humans don't create
I want to
anything.
do a real good parasite cleanse, man. I want to do a.
Well, you'll probably get your kingdom in order. You'll get it in order. You're never trying to kill all the parasites, but you can learn about the new moon and the full moon.
Just them 5 I want out of there. I don't know their names because they name them as crazy names. But hey,
There's 5? Did you just say
there's
5?
5 of them. Yeah.
But what
There's
happened?
5 major parasites that in your colon and shit.
Well, what happened if they're what happened if they're your lyrics, the lyricists? What happened if they're your main rappers? Those 5?
I hope not, man. Imagine they're writing a lot of shit. Fucking, they say they could spread to your brain and other things.
They can. But
wonder-
the thing is, go ahead, Joe.
I got to show the video of the lady taking them out of someone's intestines. That shit was nasty, but damn. That fucked me up seeing that shit. I was like, fuck.
But even that, Charles, some of the old teachings of the old ways, where parasite cleanse, understanding the moon cycle, but we've introduced things too now. So radio, electricity, Wi-Fi, those types of energy really plays havoc in the environment for the body. So
With the
it's not,
parasite.
well,
No.
the parasites are
With
going to be,
the fluoride and all this other stuff.
well, it's always fun when I hear somebody say, Dom, I don't drink the tap water, but you shower in it, don't you? Well, yeah. Isn't that the biggest organ? Sure. It
Yeah,
is.
the skin. Mhm.
Yeah. So at that point, the person would have to say, okay, am I going
You
to try
gotta
to
limit.
avoid
Only 5 minutes in the shower. You got to limit.
either that, or you overemphasize in other areas? You know, do you use essential oils? You know, is it the way you think or feel? Because again, all that is intertwined. You know, so how you steward your body is not just about what you drink or eat. It's also the environment that you're in and the environment inside. You know, what are your thoughts? You know, it's always fun when I hear people use cuss words, but yet I say, would you say that in front of your parents? Well, no. So which one is really you? It's like no different when people drink or get high. They have a conversation, they'll get depth. I'll say, okay, well, which one is you? The one when you're high or when you're not high? And if you like the one when it's high, then merge it when you're not high. It's like your conscious and your subconscious. Are you going to merge them? For a lot of folks, they don't want to. And then they'll hear things, well, somebody was under hypnosis. What came to the forefront? It's like when people black out, next thing you know, but their buddies tell them, because you were still fully functioning, then what took over? You know, a lot of times people suppress that inner strength, and then they just be led with their little conscious mind. There's the slave and master game going on, opposed to merging them together. But it's easy to say words like God, Jesus, awareness, the devil. I said, but how does that serve? Whether it serves you or others. Now, I'm just talking out loud. It's for my benefit, whether H, I already get a sense H grasps quite a bit, and he's on his own journey, well done. Same with you, Charles. But for a lot of folks, it's kind of like, then why are you here? Well, Dom, I don't believe in Christianity. Okay, well, then leave him alone. Well, Dominic, I want to have fun. I said, okay, what do you believe in? Well, let's have fun with you. Well, no, you can't do that. Well, then why would you do it to others then? We should learn to treat others better than the way we treat ourselves. But some people are so low grade in how they treat themselves. Well, then you keep that to yourself. What do you mean? Because I'm not interested in that. You know. But then they want to be kind. They want to end wars. They want to make sure that the government changes their way, but they're not willing to change. Or at least be honest with themselves and say, listen, I really don't like my behavior. Okay, well then do something about it. Don't expect other people to do for you, because then you're right back to having governments. You know, govern oneself. It's challenging.
All that energy to tear down, man. I tell people what we can do as a collective, building each other up.
We can, but we've never shown it when we're in the human form that we're collective. Even more confirmed. It might be hundreds of millions of people that are affected by it, but overall, we're not a collective species. It's never been shown.
We're a retarded species.
Well, we could be retarded, which is okay.
Hell, it been shown one time. It been shown one time in history, and God destroyed the Tower of Babel.
So they say. So they say. But then I would have to be a believer.
That I'd be a believer. Yep.
I would have to believe it.
Hey yo,
Ago.
man. I gotta head to the store. Real quick, man. Yo, this is a great conversation, man. Thanks for letting me up. Good talking to y'all. Shout out to Emma in the chat. Yep. Shout out to everybody in the chat. For sure. Great combo.
Have a beautiful day.
For sure. Y'all too. Stay up.
We're back to believers again, Charles. We're all believers.
Because we be lying to ourselves.
There you go. See, there you go. It's always fun when I hear people say, Dom, I know the truth. I said, well, then you must know all the lies or the deceptions. Well, no, I don't. I said, well, then how can you be one of us believers then?
Yeah, the word believe means you be lying to yourself.
You'd be lying to the self. Yes, you'd be lying to the self, the ongoing program. And it's fun to play with, because I'm not, in my awareness, not harming anybody. Now, somebody said, well, Dom, you harm me. I said, are you sure that's not coming from within? Because are we even supposed to be responsible for each other? It's a question, not because I know the answer to that. And some people can speculate. Well, I think we should. I said, okay. So when a parent says, well, I'm here to raise my kids. I said, did you teach them how to breathe? Well, no. So that's already been preset. It's like when people talk about, I create children. I said, no, you reproduce children. You didn't create the sperm and the egg. The body does. So those are already preset. It's like me playing with my drones. I already know that's already been created. I just have to learn the instructions and how to plug and play. And as I'm doing it, I'm actually helping the GPS so they can actually GPS everything. But I get it, Charles. Some people, once they become somewhat aware, or like people that are, they lose a loved one or whatever, they go through stages of grieving, denial, anger, frustration. I don't think frustration is actually one of their stages. They're trying to barter with themselves. I hate the government. Okay, what government are we talking about? The Russian government, the Chinese government, and then people overgeneralize. I hate all governments. Okay, so what is behind governments? Humans. So then what are you really saying about humans? And people say, well, I don't trust them. But you'll trust somebody that wrote you a book called the Bible or the Quran. Go figure. It's a story. It might have some lessons in that story.
Watching you. You're taking the shit. He's watching you.
It's watching me. Of course it could be watching me. I'm watching
That's
myself.
Some bugged out shit.
I think my cat's watching me, Charles.
God in the sky.
I think my cat's watching me, Charles. You know how they are, those drones.
You better behave. God will know.
They will know. Hey,
Of course God will know because you are God.
Well, think about the Santa Claus song. I call it Satan song, I'm going to see if all the kids are being good or bad. I'm going to double check or whatever. I'm like, really? So, and even that, I don't imply Satan is a bad thing. Satan could be like an adversary. I'm going to call you out on your own shit. And I already know by reading your energy. Oh, so then you're asking me to see whether or not I'm going to be true. Yes. If you're a liar, be true. If you're a deceitful person, be true. When somebody calls you out and say, listen, are you bullshitting? Yes, I am. But the question would be, what do I mean when I say I'm bullshitting?
I was thinking the same thing. I just wanted to say she said food is a drug. So I was thinking that same thing when you guys are talking about drugs and food.
Mm-hmm. It is. You fast long enough.
I got to jump off here at 2 hours.
Oh, go ahead, Charles. Anytime. Yeah, anytime, Charles.
We got 10 minutes.
Yeah, food is a drug. You fast long enough, you'll understand when you hear somebody say, "Dumb, I'm hooked on cocaine." Food is a drug. And people will say, "Listen, I can't fast for 3 days." Have you ever tried? Well, no. So how would you know that statement you said is real? Now, if you try to go out without liquids for 3 days, you'll find out how much you need water. No different if you go without, 10 or 11 days without sleep. You'll actually, most people end up dying. Now, how long would you go without air? 3 minutes at the most, unless you're a deep sea diver. 3 minutes at the most, and that's pushing it. So at that point,
I tell people, lock yourself in the closet.
But air's still there.
Or in your bathroom. Well,
but it's still there.
Depending on the size of your bathroom. With no TV, no window, nothing to write with.
Mhm.
You just be in that cell by yourself, right?
Put yourself in the trunk.
Not many people could do that.
Hire
So a lot
a
of people don't mind.
Yeah, hire hostage taken. Pay somebody to throw you in a trunk. There you go. You'll have air for a bit, but then you can actually be, some people actually do it purposely when they do a submerged tank or whatever. They literally will hone in their bodies actually in that status. And next thing you know, then you can really attend to those thoughts. And people, if they're honest with themselves, fuck, I got a lot of wasted thoughts in there, don't I? It's just, we consume more in thoughts than we do with our material stuff. I know that about me, so I'm probably overgeneralizing by saying we. I should have been just saying me. But that's for me to figure out. It's always fun when somebody else said, Dom, they're going to try to correct me. I said, take a number. It starts at 1 million, by the way. What do you mean? Because I have my own stomping on myself that I have to deal with. I just choose to come here, Charles, and share with you, and I enjoy it. But then there's certain characters, they're too busy projecting outwards. I'm like, okay, so how does this serve you if you're making fun of somebody else? And some people get a kick out of it. I said, okay, are we playing for keeps? What do you mean? Well, are we losing some fingers if somebody gets a little bit offended?
Some people when they down others, that's wild to me.
It is because if it was like face to face, people's emotion would get the best of them, and they would probably use their physical vessel to harm another person when we were just having a verbal conversation. That's when people have to realize: are we having an emotional, mental, or physical issue here? And for most people, when we're online, we're just having a verbal conversation. The emotion is there, but nothing should indicate that you should physically feel as though you need to harm another human being. But at that point, I'm realizing that person's probably not developed emotionally. And most of us aren't. The way I talk sometimes, Charles, I know that's my emotions. It's getting the best of me. I haven't truly developed my emotions. I can pretend to have like a stoic position, but I know I'm like, okay, you guys are really taking cheap shots at me now. Why? Because if it was a private conversation, is it fair game? Does it work both ways? Because it's my turn now. It's like when those people that do slapping contests, you hit me first, or are we going to flip a coin first to see who gets the first shot? Fucking right, it is.
I've watched them fights. Like, I remember when I first seen it, when it first came out, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Who's going to stand there and let somebody cock them right in the face with a, oh, man.
It's a ballsy game. Yeah, sure
and they're
you do.
hitting you right where that jaw connects with, your top part. You could knock someone out if you don't have a strong jaw. That's a pressure point. You could break their jaw right there. And that's where they're hitting them.
But they respect each other enough to say, listen, if you get the better of me, this is not me getting even with you. I understand the rules. So when people come online, they have to understand the rules. But what some people do, they come in cleverly. Oh, I'm going into a Christian channel and I want to make fun of them. Do they know that's what you're trying to do? Well, not really. So you're not an honorable person, like in the day when people say friend or foe. So I'll know exactly, do I arm myself or do I open up my arms to give you a hug? Those are the clever boys. Those are usually, whether it's a woman, a girl, or a boy, those are boys and girls pretending to be adults. If you're going to have a true argument, debate, make sure everybody involved are aware of it. If not, they're coming in and blowing the chin.
Do I open my arm? You said, do I open my arm to give you a hug, or do I got to pull out my armory?
Yeah, that's why they used to say friend or foe. You meet a total stranger, friend or foe. You got to be respectful in the game. But for some people, what they do is they'll hide behind the bushes with a fucking gun. I said, oh, you're a gangster now, are you? Hope you don't get caught by it. Certain people say, listen, we're not going to shoot you. We're going to start snipping fingers. We want to see whether or not you can handle pain. That's a bonus when you get a shot in the back of the head. But again, I'm not a gangster that way, but I can play like a gangster. Now, the ones that actually do, I said, have you truly had fingers lost? What digit do you respect the most? Because that's the one that's coming off first. And for most guys, we know what that digit is. That's what I'm saying. When we're having Yeah. Again, when we're having conversations, I'm giving people the benefit of the doubt that they've done some inner work and they know how to ground themselves when they feel a little disturbed. Oh, I don't like the way Charles just talked to me. So does that prove that Charles did something mean, or does it prove that you have something inside that's not in place? A person should be able to stand there if they're true to themselves and say, Dom, I'm full of shit. Okay, so no matter what they say, I'm going to stay true to myself. I know that about myself. Well, Dom, I would never say that. I said, I never said you said that. I'm the one that said it. People are too busy, Charles, trying to prove points or convince people of their points opposed to just sharing them. If you share them, let other people decide whether or not it's of value to them or not. If they don't believe in crystals, so be it. If they don't believe in singing bowls, no problem. But you're still a believer, right? What do you mean? You use Wi-Fi, right? Well, yeah. How does Wi-Fi come to be? Well, I don't know, Dom. So then you're a believer. If you don't know, therefore you must be a believer. But if you did know, now you can apply maybe discernment. I always find it fun when people say, yeah, but I know now I'm going to apply it in action. Yeah, there's a lot of people that know that there's a thing called Wi-Fi and you're using it, but you know, do you have discernment? How did it come to be? Well, I don't know. Okay. Conversation's done at that point. They're not a seeker. They're a believer. And even seeking has its limitation, by the way. Anyway, Charles, I went on my little diary of the
So
mouth.
Frankenstein's a real story? That they used to take cadavers and run electricity through them and find all types of ways to try to bring people back?
Could be. Charles, if I was there, I could confirm that, but I wasn't. So at that point, I can only talk as a believer. I heard a story of it. They showed me pictures. Now, if somebody said, Dominic, I was there, I would have to trust them, but I'm still a believer. You know, they also said there was 2 world wars. There was 2 wars. I can only be a believer. I've read about it. There might have actually been some people that were there. I said, okay, I trust you enough as a person that you said you were there, but I would still be a believer because I wasn't there. Fuck, I stumble why people can't grasp that simple 101, knowing the difference. Have anybody even been to Russia? Well, no. So how would you know for sure? Well, I know a Russian guy. I said, okay, so then you trust that Russian guy told you there's a place called Russia. And even that, how did we get the word Russia?
Because you were Russian.
Because you're Russian. Yeah, because we've been conditioned, indoctrinated with words. So if I'm born over here on this piece of land, I'm called a Canadian. Over here, I'm called an American. Over here, I'm called European. Okay, European, or am I from Italy, or am I from Portugal? See, these are
European?
European.
That's funny. European?
Yeah. It's like you saying you're German. You live in America, but you're German. How do you know you're German? Based on your body? Somebody said, Charles, this is what Germans look like. They have blue eyes, or they have blonde, blue eyes and blonde hair, whatever. I said, well, isn't that people that call Swedish have the same kind of appearance? Yeah, but we look different. Okay, well then I guess all cats are different then. But yet we'll call them a cat. I wonder if a cat knows it's a cat. Probably not.
I'm convinced cats know English.
Probably better than us.
Because think about it, they even know Spanish too. Like,
from what I understand, again, as a believer, people have done studies and they say it's based on the tonality. They might hear the word cat, they might hear they might pick up on patterns. But again, I'd have to be a believer because somebody told me about that. I didn't do the study myself. Now, I've been interchanging the word because it could be, like, I could use the word believer or I could use the word story. I heard a story. And then people will wield that as the truth. It's the truth. Okay, the fact that you got to say that out loud, it's kind of funny. I know the truth. Okay, are you sure you're not a believer? No, Dom, I know the truth. Okay, what's the truth? Is it the guy in the Revelation? He comes off a horse and it has written on it, said the truth. Remember, I'm reading a story, right? I'm a believer. So, well, Dom, you don't understand. I said, I get it. I don't understand. The word gives it away. But do you understand? Yes. So how are you going to try to explain it to me? By the way, me and Charles just saw an alien yesterday. How do we tell you? With words. We saw an alien,
they
Charles.
didn't have
Remember?
their green card. They didn't have their green card.
The green card. Are you sure that he didn't color it? Wasn't it an
No,
orange card?
if you crash land in America, you're gonna have to show your papers. For real.
Charles, it's 2 hours. If you're taking off, boss, have a beautiful day.
Yeah.
Ciao, Charles.
Thanks
Have a
for
good one.
coming up, Dom. All right, everyone.
And I hope I
Have a
entertained
great
people in
day.
chat today. I hope I entertained people in chat today. Ciao, bud.
Definitely stuff to think about. And I'm out.